hear anybody. Oh, I hear something. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good evening.
Hi.
Pretty soon.
Hey
Hello, John.
there. Okay. Is Kent on?
I am.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would take roll, please.
Sure. Joan Eaton.
Here.
Sean Platt.
Here.
Cindy Neely.
Here.
Nancy Hale. Mark Reynolds.
Here.
Hamilton. Frank Ganser.
Here.
Okay. So this is a special meeting. Just lost my agenda, but no public business tonight. So we are going to be reviewing changes on Bighorn Crossing or alterations to the changes on Bighorn Crossing. So hi, Jason.
Good evening.
And so does everybody has the printouts from that? And do we want to just start with questions about particulars that we had from last time?
Kent, can you show those on the screen, what's being proposed?
Yeah, I can. Just it'll take me a minute to get it
brought up.
I have them brought up. I don't know if I can show them.
Yeah. Well, if you can, that's okay.
Can you guys see this one?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to start there?
Sure. And I did not bring my list up with me. I can grab it, but I know what all we were talking about. So first thing was the missing porch in the front down on the lower level. So this looks nice. And then is that copper on the gutters? Or is it just wood?
That's just the wood
Okay.
tone on the front. It actually doesn't show the gutter going across there,
Okay.
but we will have a gutter across there.
Okay.
And
And
the
then-
gutter will be painted to match the wood?
The gutters, if you look to the left where the arrow is, the gutter is a bronze color. It matches the trim up above.
Okay.
on the
It's
roof.
just not a
Shiny.
standard sort of shiny stainless gutter.
No, it's bronze. It's a painted bronze. It's a
It's a
powder
paint-
coated color.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a powder coated gutter. Okay.
All right. Then I also, so the actual roof itself looks nice and it actually extends out to the corners on both sides, wraps around.
Yeah, it will actually continue around, just like the roof on the side and go all the way around and match basically
Nice.
the roofs that are on the north and south sides.
Okay. Is that metal?
That is asphalt, the
Okay.
same as what's there. I don't
Okay.
know if you guys are able to.
It just looked different
That
from the
helps.
one up above. Okay. So, and is that one right above your arrow, that little roof, little squarish one, is that still asphalt as well?
Yeah, that's asphalt.
So we're not changing to any of the metal roofs?
No, we're gonna try to stay with all asphalt since it's all there, and all sealed in.
Okay. Now I see our rock pile signs here on the corners. And, okay, and then moving over to the left, the little screen shielding the utilities.
What is that screen? Is that a wood screen?
Yes, so that is just wood. I think they call it snow stop style fencing. And so it's just horizontal fencing with a 3 to 4 inch space in between. And it's 1x8, I believe, material that we're going to use across there.
But it's natural wood. It's real wood.
Yeah, it's real. It'll be real wood. And we're going to, in here, they have it a different toned color. We don't know if we should paint it, if it should match the house, what we should do with the color. They put this green on there for it to stand out on the rendering.
Yeah. And it
I'd
should.
like,
It's not
Yeah.
really an accent.
right. So I'd like your guys' input on what we would like to paint it.
I would think earth tone, any earth tone color would be appropriate.
Okay.
And you've got a couple, Jason, that you've got there. The front sign
Yes.
is, in a brown tone.
Right. So this is a basically just kind of an etched metal natural look. That's not really painted. These signs, they wanted to just leave kind of rustic looking. So it'll be clear coated, but it's just like a distressed metal natural look.
Okay.
But what I was suggesting is that you might, as Bob said, in earth tones, you might take a look at getting those boards in the range of color, that kind of range of color.
Sure,
Yeah,
we
if
could
you
do
look-
that.
If you look at the horizontal sliding on the second building, it's a light brown color, almost the same color. So that's an earth tone too. I think you've got lots of possibilities there.
Yeah,
So it would
and-
kind of blend in with the surrounding rather than stand out.
sure. The thought of it being a rustic color like that was to stand out from the rock itself, and then directly behind where the letters are, that is a piece of galvanized metal behind it. And then they don't show it here, but there's a light that stands up 3 feet tall that will shine on each side of these signs. And
Meeting, I'll call you.
the galvanized behind the sign will kind of reflect off. So we could definitely go with one of the tones on the house. It's a gray that we used. I believe it's Dorian gray, is what we painted the siding, I think is what you're referring to. And if we did the front slats that color, but the sign's an easy thing. We could always paint that and work with that as we need. I could give you guys a sample.
I'm fine with the sign as you show it. It provides good contrast makes it easy to read the lettering.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
But for the fences, we have a conclusion that you will pick a color that's in use on the building. Is that what we're recommending?
Yeah, so on the building, we have a gray, and we went with a darker gray because it matched the white too much. So I think we go with that gray where my arrow's at. It's a Dorian gray, which is an earth tone gray that everybody's using right now. And then we could do the orange, the post behind it orange in the front here, or we can paint the whole thing gray.
I think you just kind of want it to go away, blend more than stand out. So no contrast on it would probably be better.
So the whole thing gray.
Yeah.
Write that
The
down.
same thing, yes.
Okay. And then that back one, but under the porch railing is screening the meters, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. What else do we have? Do we have anything else on this?
Windows.
Oh, the windows. Yes. Yes. Sorry, Biggie.
Yes. So the windows, we are going to put these in and have them frosted like you guys asked. I already talked to the manufacturer about those, and they'll be trimmed out to match the existing windows. On these windows here, we talked about putting a piece of vinyl on the front of it. We tried to put a piece on there. It's too cold right now for the adhesive to stick to it. So we want to see if we can wait on that until it warms up, or we're going to try it again and use a heater and heat up the window and try to put it on with 2-sided tape again.
Okay.
So at the moment, the threesome windows, both of them exist there.
Yes.
And the other threesome window exists on the south end here. That one.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's actually one up above here too.
So they'll all have the dividers to make 3 windows in each.
Correct. Yeah.
Are the new little ones that you're putting in, are they actually windows, or are they just to look like a window?
Well,
Are
they're
they
a window,
simulated?
but they obviously won't go through to the inside.
Right. Oh, yeah. So they're not a functioning
Correct.
window. Okay. That looks
And
nice.
they won't be down here below because obviously we have meters there, which I was trying to explain to the architect and he didn't quite get it, but you guys understand there's meters there and we can't put windows there.
Okay.
So we get the ones that are above the roof.
Correct. So 1, 2, 3 right there.
Yeah.
And then there's another window here that's a 3 window,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be all of them.
Yeah. And then we get threesomes out of all the long ones.
Correct.
Okay.
And then If we could move over to this entry, if you guys don't mind discussing this with me on this entry sign.
So when you were talking about an entry sign last time, I thought you were talking about on Argentine. This is actually on your interior street, correct?
No, this is
Yeah.
on Argentine.
That's
Yeah, this-
Argentine?
Yeah, it's on Argentine.
Okay,
Yeah, it's if I move out back here, you can see this whole street here is Argentine Street.
Argentine.
okay.
How close are they to the street? They look really close in the rendering.
The rendering is really off here. We have like 30 feet, and these are going to be like 15 or so feet away from the street. They're a little
That
ways
makes sense,
back.
Because the way it is there would impede on your view when you're turning, and then the design would probably have to change again. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and we
Yeah,
have
that really
them-
shouldn't be in the right of way.
correct.
It'll be
So they're-
behind the right of way.
Correct, because I think in some original plans I have, site plans show a sidewalk going there. So later on, I think. So we have those walls held back quite a ways.
Kent, how wide is the right of way down there? Is it a big right of way like it is from 15th on?
Yeah, I think it's the same right of way from 15th on north. But
Because the-
I'll have to look that up.
Okay, because
So-
from 15th south, in between 15th and 11th, that's a fairly huge right of way because that was old Highway 6.
Right. It'll take a little bit, so.
Yeah, but I think that it's good to know where our right of way line is out there because of the potential of trying to do a future sidewalk, which would be a good thing to do.
And we have some stakes that are still out there that show the sidewalk, the right of way, and the street and property line and everything. There's still some stakes out there. They're on the right side next to where all the power poles are, where you guys can't see, to the right of the Bighorn Crossing sign. Theirs are still there because that's where the bike path comes in.
Okay.
Jason, you've also shown, well, let's finish with this. So each one of these will have this done to the west side, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. My cat, go, kitty.
Okay, was there anything on the east side that it was that little trellis kind of roof that was drawn on the last ones
Well,
on the east end?
this is actually what the east end looks like right now.
Okay, so
So-
not the open trellis, the open top
Correct.
trellis. Okay, great. All right, and then I know we had landscaping. Was there anything else about the building in particular? Anybody? 2, 3, 4. I think that was the fifth one, was the landscape, and we were just concerned about the water issue changing since, the first landscape plan we saw. So we wanted to make sure you were aware this is going to have to be pretty zero-scaped, hardscaped. That, might
I
affect your
think more than that, we had for the townhouses and this whole project, because it had a little park in it and all of
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Jason, we're going to need to see a whole new landscape plan
Okay.
at some point along the line. I mean, right now you're trying to finish up these.
Yes.
And that's the priority. So I'm not saying that this needs to be immediate or that it holds this project up. But even here, you've shown some trees. They've drawn trees in front of these buildings,
Yes.
which will be lovely. And actually, if you use our tried and true old cottonwoods, yes, you'll have to water them for the first couple of years, but your water table is high enough that it won't take them long to establish themselves. you know, because that's what they do. And we've had good success with them in rocked in areas, for instance, along the gateway into town. But I think that yeah, the landscape plan has to be somewhere in your head to talk about, because you know, to have the whole place just rocked, and there are a lot of mounds of fill that have to have something done with them throughout the site.
I completely agree. Completely agree. So that's why in the islands, you can't really see the parking island here where the light is. They wanted to put some trees there. And then these bushes here in the front are the like natural growing ones that are over by the river. And as far as the trees, I'm 100% with you. Once the trees are established, the water table is high enough that they'll grow. As long as we keep them far enough away from our foundation to where they don't hurt us down the road.
Right, but Jason, you also, to successfully plant trees around here, you have to get trees that were born in the mountains. You
Correct.
cannot go down to a Denver nursery and have them bring you up. And you know, basically, you sort of want narrow leaf cottonless cottonwoods that will grow fairly quickly, and they're available in Summit County and to the west, which is probably a best idea. But still, I think a plan for the whole project needs to be presented at some point.
Okay, I agree with you. And we would like to get rocks in the front there and get that going. Come whenever we want to plant trees, we can move the rocks away, plunk a hole, and put a tree in really easily. So yes, I'm with you 100% there. And Fraser, I'm not really familiar with the whole area, but there's a place in Fraser County, is it, that has trees?
Well, Summit County does.
Summit County, you're right, sorry.
Right over the
And
hill. Yeah, there
yeah.
are a couple of places that have trees, and we've had just far more success with getting getting things that have grown up at this altitude.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, well, I think this looks really good. Does anybody else have any more comments or questions? Was there anything else that was not addressed here?
Well,
No, I think it looks a whole lot better.
Yeah,
I agree. Jason, you did mention something about lights on these signs on the corners.
Yes. So they'll be on a 2-inch pole coming up about the height of the sign, and then 2 LEDs pointing at the sign. That way the lights are not buried in the snow when it does snow.
but not pointing up.
No,
They
they'll
can't.
they'll be pointing right at the sign, and they're low wattage.
Okay,
And
so that'll just be something between you and the dark sky thing. They'll have to fit that so they can't shine upwards. You know that.
Yep, me and Kent been working that out.
Okay,
Okay.
Just so everybody's aware, the rock on the first floor is shown in the rendering is only like a wainscoting or halfway up. It actually goes all the way up to the underside of the porch roof.
Portico.
yeah,
Which
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, it'll just change the look a little bit.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. I tried to, with the holidays and everything, I tried to get back to the 359 for them to add that in, and they didn't have time to, so I just submitted this. But I kind of thought you'd all understand that rock goes all the way up there.
Yeah, it does.
okay, so I don't think we're actually doing an amendment here. We were just wanted to see these changes that had been made from previous certificate.
Right, I
So-
don't think it's a formal amendment, Joan, but I think we should have a motion
Uh-huh.
and we should make these drawings a part of the record.
Yes, yes. Okay. Does anybody have a motion for me then?
I would move that we approve the changes to the west elevations as shown in this rendering.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Is there any more discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? All right. That looks pretty good then. Thanks, Jason.
Now, does that include our signage and everything in the front when you say West End?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
So, we discussed maybe the color on the fence being not quite as predicted, but everything else, looks good. The signs being appropriately back from the road and that kind of thing. So not necessarily as drawn on here the way it looks, but you had that understanding, correct?
Yes.
I made a note of that
fully
as well.
understand.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thanks.
Wonderful.
Think about that landscape plan for a little bit down the road, and we'll be seeing you again then.
Yeah, we have townhomes coming up that we're going to submit soon. So I'm going to get the landscape plans submitted with those.
All right,
Yeah,
great.
that would be good.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Thank
you. Uh-huh.
Thanks.
Okay.
Kent,
Yes,
just out of curiosity, are both of those buildings occupied at this point?
they just, we were taking care of a CO for building 2 today with conditions and with a financial guarantee. So we just got that done today. So,
Okay.
and building 1 still has conditional CO or a temporary CO. It's not really called temporary, but
It'll be temporary until they finish, won't it?
right. Well, there's a set of conditions listed, so. And then I wanted to tell you that the Argentine right-of-way is 100 feet wide, but the road is on the east side of it. Most of the extra ground for the 100-foot right-of-way, which is the old Highway 6, is
On the west.
towards the freeway. So there's only about 10 feet, well, according to the county GIS, but 10 feet, 15 feet from the west edge of pavement to the edge of the right of way on the east side. So,
Curious to me because the utility lines on the west side of the road are, a couple of them are very close to the road. And it would
yes,
seem to me that means that they are, because
they
ultimately.
didn't want them next to I-70. So
Well,
they
I
put
get
them
that,
close
except
there.
that we've got a greenway trail that's going to go through there at some point along the line.
Most of the problem utilities are on the east side. There's a lot of stuff over on that east side of Argentine. And the reason I know that is when they redid the poles down there,
Oh, they're so
and
close to the road.
well, because there was no other, there's a high pressure gas line, there's fiber optic, there's something else, all within that 10 feet. And it's like, there's no room at all.
Do some of those berms sit in, those fill berms sit in that 10 feet?
No. Not as far, no, they're fences. I don't think so. I shouldn't say that with 100% because I didn't,
No, I
haven't
mean,
had it surveyed, so.
ultimately, when they come in
think the
with
fence
the
is
landscape
close.
plan, we probably should take a look at what the thoughts are about where sidewalk and greenway go.
Right. Now, the greenway really, it should be on the west side.
Yeah.
But then you need a crossing to get over to the lake, obviously, once
Yeah.
somewhere along the way. So. But all the traffic's going to be turning left in and out of that Bighorn and
Left,
in and out of the motel. Well, they'll turn into the parking lots or turn into the driveways into Bighorn from Argentine. They'll turn left or right. that's where all the turning movement is. There won't be anything on, hardly anything
side.
on the west side. Yeah.
That's right. So the greenway goes on the west. Okay. Well, does
right.
he have any time idea of when he's going to make these changes to the facade?
The condition said it by the end of February. So
Oh,
fairly quick. We'll see if they can meet that. They said they had put down a January 31st, and I said, no, I'm not gonna,
Don't start
you
that.
ain't gonna get it done in 3 weeks and then have to expend it.
You're long enough to know better.
We're going February at least, maybe March, so I don't
Hey,
know.
did XL ever get the gas lines all finished up here? Remember last year we had the trucks down there? I'm assuming they did.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay. All right. Anybody else got anything?
think
All
so.
right. Thanks for coming. Let's adjourn.
All righty.
Hey, Sean, can you hang on a sec?
Yes,
Okay. Night. Happy New Year.
Did someone motion to adjourn?
Oh,
I did.
I moved that we
Oh,
adjourn.
Oh, it's okay.
yes, we're
Okay.
adjourning.
Oh, God.
Susan did.
She'll
Make
make
something
it
up.
Okay.
Yeah. All good.
Everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Hey, Sean, I wanted to ask you, I've got a window that needs to go in my bathroom. We got it a while back and it's just sitting in our old leaky bathroom window. It's still in there. It's not as big as the ones on the front because it's a kind of a low roof in there. Would you or anybody on your team have time to do that? And it's not a rush, obviously, but
yeah, we could probably work it in.
okay.